Culinary and beverages. Over 1,000 stigmas from which specific purple flower must be harvested by hand to produce even a small amount of saffron. Crocus. Which, a special brand imported from Mexico, surpassed Bud Light in 2023 to become the best-selling beer in the United States. Modelo. What popular, spicy traditional cabbage and radish side dish is often referred to as Korean sauerkraut? Kimchi. What is the traditional name for a cocktail stirrer, which often features a small plastic or glass ball on one end? Swizzle stick. In the context of alcoholic beverage measures, what equine-themed term is used to describe a double shot, which is larger than a standard jigger? Pony. Which aromatic evergreen herb is one of the classic ingredients typically found in the French seasoning blend herbes de Provence? Time. Language and word games. What six-letter verb meaning, to conclude by reasoning, becomes a word meaning, to bury, when you change just one letter? Infer. What word meaning sheer craziness or insanity was historically thought to be heavily influenced by the shifting phases of the moon? Lunacy. Which vocabulary word can mean either a very gentle, subtle movement of air that transmits an odor, or the odor itself? Waff. What alliterative phrase meaning scheduled entertainment time was popularized by the U.S. Navy and has since caught on at bars worldwide? Happy hour. Which online, Scrabble-like mobile game founded in 2009 references the famous phrase about a photograph's value being equivalent to a certain amount of prose? Words with friends. Entertainment and consumer brands. Which commercial skincare company uses a name that sounds like a bullfighting cry for its super serum that promises visibly smoother lines? Olay. What is the name of the prominent paint manufacturing company that uses the stock ticker symbol SHW and the slogan, Cover the Earth? Sherwin-Williams. Celebrating its 50th anniversary in 2023, the Passat is a long-running vehicle model produced by which major German car manufacturer? Volkswagen. Literature and authors. What is the missing word in the title of Richard K. Morgan's cyberpunk science fiction tale, Altered_Carbon? Which American author wrote the 1967 novel, The Outsiders, based on growing up in a neighborhood split between greasers and socks? S. E. Hinton. Which American novelist's 1862 wartime meeting with President Abraham Lincoln in Washington, D.C., is commemorated by a statue in Hartford? Harriet Beecher Stowe. Which American author's controversial 1934 novel, Tropic of Cancer, was legally ruled by a New York court to be flagrantly obscene? Henry Miller. Which author wrote the 2017 best-selling novel, Little Fires Everywhere, which he dedicated to individuals forging their own independent paths? Celeste Ng. Born in London on January 8, 1824, which Victorian-era author wrote the classic mystery novels The Woman in White and The Moonstone? Wilkie Collins. Author Julia Quinn and television producer Shonda Rhimes co-wrote Queen Charlotte, which serves as a prequel novel to which hit Netflix series? Bridgerton. Television and theater. Which fictional sitcom character was introduced on Cheers in 1984, got his own spin-off in 1993, and received a revival series 30 years later? Frasier Crane. On which classic live-action superhero television show did actor Bill Bixby famously utter the warning line, "Don't make me angry"? The Incredible Hulk. In the opening chapter of the Percy Jackson fantasy series, what is the title character's first-person confession regarding his pre-algebra teacher? I accidentally vaporize my pre-algebra teacher. What is the title of the 1816 comic opera by Gioacchino Rossini that features the famous Figaro? Figaro, aria titled Largo al Factotum? The Barber of Seville. Which iconic 1957 live television musical production written by Rodgers and Hammerstein starred Julie Andrews as the titular fairy tale heroine? Cinderella. For 7 seasons on television, Anthony LaPaglia and Poppy Montgomery played FBI agents tracking down individuals who vanished in what specific title way? Without a trace. Which hit song did Alicia Keys perform at the 2024 Tony Awards alongside a guest vocal appearance by rapper Jay-Z? Empire State of Mind. To protect your career, plotting to murder an ex-lover is definitely an ineffective move, as dramatized in what British miniseries? A Very English Scandal. Geography and places. In its official constitution, the country of India is also referred to by what traditional native name? Bharat. Located in the western part of Alaska, the city of Nome serves as the main coastal settlement on Norton Sound, which is an arm of which sea? Bering Sea. The Ebola River is a direct tributary of the Mongala, which along with the Lualaba River serves as a major tributary to which massive African river? Congo River. Which 2,268-mile-long river flows entirely across Russia to rank as the 7th longest river in the world despite its short, 2-letter name? Modern GPS technology discovered that a popular equator monument located near which South American capital city was built 800 feet too far south? Quito. What is the name of the historic D.C. hotel named after a presidential family where Patrick Clark served as the first black James Beard Best Chef winner? The Hay Adams. An architectural masterpiece, the Santa Maria del Fiore Cathedral, known simply as the Duomo, dominates the skyline of which historic Italian city? Florence. History and politics. Guided by the famous frontiersman Kit Carson, Which American explorer earned the nickname the Pathfinder for mapping the Oregon Trail? John C. Fremont. Which famous showman and circus founder, known by his first two initials P.T., legally possessed the full given names Phineas Taylor, P.T. Bonham? In 1913, what left-wing activist edited a radical tabloid in New York's East Village months before traveling to Russia to lead the Bolshevik Revolution? Leon Trotsky. At just 6 years old in 1337, Edward the Black Prince became the very first duke of which wealthy historic duchy in southwestern England? Cornwall. In 1905, Sir Henry Wood arranged the Fantasia on British Sea Songs to mark the historic centennial anniversary of which major naval battle? Battle of Trafalgar. Historian Susanna Gibson notes that 18th-century British wedding announcements routinely publicly disclosed what specific sum of money brought by the bride? Dowry. Which iconic civil rights figure is officially honored with a December 1st state holiday in Alabama to commemorate her 1955 bus protest? Rosa Parks. Abolitionist Frederick Douglass feared that black westward migration out of the American South would end up harming which political party? Republican Party. During her 1947 international Rainbow Tour, Argentina's Eva Perón began her high-profile European trip by visiting which fascist Spanish leader? Francisco Franco. To demonstrate that Christopher Columbus was not the first European to cross the Atlantic, a replica Viking ship sailed from Norway to which U.S. city in 1893? Chicago. In 1859, the discovery of which immensely rich deposit of silver ore in Nevada triggered a massive silver rush and birthed boomtowns like Virginia City? Comstock Lode. Science and Nature. What is the common two-word fatal name given to the highly poisonous, dark-berried perennial herbaceous plant known scientifically as belladonna? Deadly nightshade. What physical dimension represents the straight-line distance measured directly across the center of a round glass enclosure used for raising plants? Diameter. According to dynamo theory, the continuous movement of liquid iron in which specific layers of the Earth generates the planet's magnetic field? Outer core. The law of conservation of energy is fundamentally established as the first of the three primary laws of which 14-letter branch of physical science? Thermodynamics. In medical terminology, what does the Latin prefix pulmo- or the anatomical term pulmonary relate to inside the human body? Lungs. Occurring 4 billion years ago when the Earth was a hell's cape of magma, which geological eon gets its near-rhyming name from the Greek word for hell? Hadean. The Parthenon Temple in Athens features which specific style of fluted column, which stands as the oldest and simplest of the classical Greek orders? Doric. Music and musicians. On the dark desert highway of the Eagles' hit song, Hotel California, what warm smell do the lyrics describe rising up through the air? Kalitas. Which Australian rock band known for 1980s hits like New Sensation features a four-letter name that phonetically sounds like a phrase meaning too much? In excess. In his youth, which legendary jazz trumpet titan worked for the Karnofskys in New Orleans and later wrote that he would love the Jewish people all his life? Louis Armstrong. Which three-letter river flowing through the European portion of Russia was historically famed for the independent Cossack host settlements along its course? Don. Saxophonist Ben Webster recorded soulful, celebrated solos on the tenor version of which woodwind instrument alongside Duke Ellington and Art Tatum? Saxophone. In the hit reggae pop song, It Wasn't Me, by Shaggy and Rick Rock, what laughingly untrue phrase is repeatedly offered up as the ultimate title alibi? It wasn't me. Miscellaneous general knowledge. What adjectives combine to describe a garment that is simultaneously very evil and engineered to move perspiration away from the wearer's skin? Wicked and moisture wicking. In the year 2000, the Children's Television Workshop, CTW, officially rebranded its corporate name to what current title? Sesame Workshop. In the musical My Fair Lady, which strict professor of phonetics scolds Eliza Doolittle by reminding her that her native language is that of Shakespeare? Professor Henry Higgins. What type of animal is Punxsutawney Phil, the famous weather forecasting creature from Pennsylvania? Groundhog. What specific name is given to the tough, heavy-set Eurasian animal of the weasel family that looks and acts more like a small bear? Wolverine. What type of circus or stunt cycle features a giraffe nickname when built with an extra-tall frame driven by a long chain? Unicycle. What specific psychological condition, suffered by Marine Christian Ellis after his deployment to Iraq, inspired the powerful opera titled Fallujah? PTSD. What specific outdoor social gathering and meal might someone claim you are 1 or 2 sandwiches short of if they are questioning your sanity? Picnic. In corporate law, what general term describes a company officer, director, or 10% stockholder who is legally barred from trading on secret information? Insider. What is the name of the political science concept that suggests the far right and far left ends of the political spectrum bend toward each other like a lucky charm? Horseshoe theory. What common household item is a literal treat after a long day of work when found sitting inside a sliding wooden box in a bedroom chest? Drawer. Needy Okorafor's acclaimed 2015 sci-fi novella, Binti, achieved a rare sweep by winning which 2 major science fiction book awards? Hugo and Nebula. What is the common name for the tailless, long-legged amphibians of the biological order Anura, whose legs are famously eaten as a delicacy in France? Frogs. In her hit country song, Little Toy Guns, Carrie Underwood sings about a frantic driver hitting black ice and imploring Jesus to do what action? Take the wheel. What is the full name of the popular fantasy video game franchise that features Guardian Scouts wielding ancient battle axes in Breath of the Wild? The Legend of Zelda. Additional general knowledge I. What is the capital city of France? Paris. Who was the first person to step onto the surface of the moon? Neil Armstrong. Which planet is closest to the Sun? Mercury. What is the primary gas found in the bubbles of sparkling water? Carbon dioxide. Who painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Rome? Michelangelo. What is the largest ocean on Earth? Pacific Ocean. Which country is known as the home of the kangaroo? Australia. Who wrote the famous tragedy Romeo and Juliet? William Shakespeare. What currency is officially used in Japan? Yen. Which organ pumps blood throughout the human body? Heart. What is the tallest mountain in the world above sea level? Mount Everest. Which ancient civilization built the Great Pyramid of Giza? Egyptians. Additional general knowledge 2. What type of mathematical triangle has 3 sides of equal length? Equilateral triangle. Who is the author of the Harry Potter book series? J.K. Rowling. What is the capital city of Canada? Ottawa. Which element on the periodic table has the chemical symbol O? Oxygen. What historic document was signed by the United States in 1776? Declaration of Independence. Who directed the famous 1993 sci-fi movie, Jurassic Park? Steven Spielberg. What is the capital city of Italy? Rome. Which inventor is famously credited with developing the incandescent light bulb? Thomas Edison. What is the chemical symbol for the element silver? Ag. Which country hosted the 2024 Summer Olympic Games? France. What is the largest species of bird alive on Earth today? Ostrich. Who was the 16th President of the United States? Abraham Lincoln. Which sea is located between the United Kingdom and mainland Europe? North Sea.